All right. So the other thing that I saw this yesterday. I just can't believe it. Is the Deshaun Watson situation? Number one, he's got what I saw. He's got 23 cases against him now, and he's about to have 24. So there's
Right.
more. There's even more people coming out than we realized. I've got the so Deshaun Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, who famously defended Roger Clemens when people were accusing him of taking steroids.
Yeah.
You know, he was on a radio show, and I don't know why you're doing media about this case right now when
That doesn't.
that seems like a really bad idea. So this is one of the some of the things he said here, the quote. So this is Rusty Hardin. I don't know how many men are out there now that have had a massage that perhaps occasionally there was a happy ending. All right. Maybe there's nobody in your listening audience that has ever happened to. I do want to point out, if it has happened, it's not a crime. Unless you are paying somebody extra or so to give you some type of sexual activity, it's not a crime. I'm just going to pause for a second. And so at the end of the day, that's another thing that doing something or saying something, being a way that makes you uncomfortable is not a crime. So we had 2 grand jurors find that, and nobody wants to listen. Okay. So, there's so many things wrong with this. I don't even know where to start. Number
First
one,
of all, what the fuck are you doing a radio show? What the
Exactly.
Again, I'm not an attorney, so I don't know, but it just kind of seems like, why would you even go on and talk about this? Like, if it's right after a trial or something, I can see addressing the media. But or if you want your client to make a public statement because you feel like it could benefit his case, I guess I see that. But this doesn't. And by the way, let me just make a general point here. Okay, here's the main issue for guys that don't understand this. Okay, the massage therapists are there providing a service, a massage. Okay, they have to take classes on it. This is a business. This is their career. This is their job.
right.
Okay. They're just going in there to give someone a massage. Of course, they want the client to be satisfied at the end of it, so maybe they become a regular client and they keep coming back, whatever. Okay? They didn't get into this to be sleeping with guys. Okay? And when an NFL quarterback who's worth millions of dollars, okay, who obviously has, in our culture right now, NFL quarterbacks, good NFL quarterbacks who are paid a lot of money, have a lot of power and influence. Okay?
Yep.
And whether or not he actually forcibly raped someone, which I guess these aren't the allegations here.
Right.
I guess.
I think it's sexual assault, I think.
Yeah, which I guess you could say is a forcible. I'm not exactly sure about but it's basically like, look, when a guy like that starts making these, according to what we've read in the accusations, starts making these advances, it puts the massage therapist in an extremely uncomfortable position where you feel like, well, shit, if I don't sort of go along with this guy could fuck up my career.
Right.
Okay? So to me, that's the gist of the case. Okay? And that's why, regardless of what happens, regardless of the grand jury's deciding not to pursue a criminal case against Deshaun Watson, and regardless of the results of these civil cases, I will go to my grave thinking that Deshaun Watson is a piece of shit human being who did some awful, terrible stuff and has traumatized at least several women based on his actions when they were supposed to be giving him a massage. Okay? Not a blowjob and having sex with him. Okay? So maybe some of them did have consensual sex with him. I don't know. But again, they're saying, it was consensual. That's difficult to prove to me because it feels like there's some level of fear and intimidation going into women agreeing to have sex with him because he has so much power and money that he could fuck their career up.
Right. Yeah. The most disturbing part to me is that I'm just going to come out and say Deshaun Watson has a problem because this is 24 women. Okay. One woman, I'll buy your story that maybe she's trying to get something from him, whatever. There are people like that out there. I get it. I'm not, minimizing anybody's pain. That kind of thing does happen sometimes. 24 of them? Like, and the other thing is, like, dude, what? It's like, number one, what's wrong with the attorney for minimizing all of these allegations? Number one. Number two, the NFL is looking into suspending you, and that's going to have a lot based on public opinion. Okay?
Yep.
We've seen what the NFL does. They will go with public opinion. So now you've damaged the public opinion of everything that's happened as if his situation wasn't bad enough. And then come out and say, well, it's not a crime. It's really not, and minimize it and say it's not that big a deal.
Robert Kraft got in trouble for getting happy endings
right.
And the
thing is, what Robert Kraft was doing was probably more legitimate, because it's the kind of thing where that's kind of what you're going to that kind of place for. Robert Kraft, okay, I can understand
it's still awful what he did, but
right,
yeah,
but I can understand it a lot more. And the other thing is, so the attorney, I don't know, he's clueless. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. And Deshaun Watson, what is wrong with you? Like, if this is what you wanted, like, let's be honest here. These are professional athletes. You think there's not all kinds of cheating and visiting prostitutes and getting all kinds of... You don't think they're doing that all the time? Of course, we don't find out about it. You know why? Because they're actually going, if this is what you're out for, they're actually going to sex workers who actually do this thing. So if that's what you want to do, fine, go do that.
I mean, I can disagree with you morally and ethically,
right.
But whatever.
Right. It would be one thing if that's what you were doing, but really? Like 24? Yeah. I mean, come on, man. Like, what is wrong with you? So...
Well, yeah. and by the way, let me just, and I made that, I went on that little diatribe before just to point something out, that I'm sure that in these civil lawsuits, they're pursuing like pain and suffering or
right.
Lost enjoyment of life or whatever, because they are traumatized because at their job,
right,
this allegedly happened. Okay. So they have to try to go back to work. Okay. Which is obviously going to be difficult. So let's not. So again, it's like you're trying to minimize this, and it's like, no, you've allegedly, according to these allegations, I feel like if these are true, you have significantly traumatized possibly 24 people.
Right.
Okay. So I seriously like, and I kind of hope that there's like punitive damages or something here, because it's just like 24 fucking people. That just seems intentional and like egregious. And maybe malicious. I don't know. That would depend on what the jury decides. But
sounds kind of addictive to me. It's like he's obviously got some kind of, there's something going on, because now more people keep coming out. Like, so the NFL, that's definitely affected by public opinion. These are going to be civil cases that they're not in process right now. They're probably not going to start until next spring. So now you've got that out there. He's famous. So the odds of getting somebody in the jury who doesn't know about this is going to be zero. Everybody's going to know about this. The picture that he's allowing the prosecutors to paint of him is pretty bad. So, and so he already missed last season because of this. The way this is going, we'll see what the NFL does. As I've said before on here, I don't trust the NFL to do the right thing. I hope they do the right thing, but I don't trust them to do it. They really should suspend him. I've been skeptical of the whole suspension thing because the trials aren't going to start until after the season's over. So we'll see if they do the right thing.
Well, and here's something else to I just thought of this. Here's something else to consider. Okay. Given my current job, I do marketing for personal injury lawyers. Okay. Personal injury lawyer, well, I don't know that this guy's necessarily a personal injury lawyer, but lawyers don't really take cases unless they think they're going to win.
Right.
Okay. And considering how long this has gone on and there hasn't been a settlement, okay, I'd have to see if this seems like maybe this is a contingency kind of case where the lawyer's fronting the costs. If they're fronting the costs for this long, they're going to be looking for, tens of,
right,
for the amount of women, tens of millions of dollars in damages, as they should. Yeah. So that's another thing to consider. Like, if you're kind of on the fence about it, it's like, yeah, the criminal thing, but like, you think he'd be going this long on it if there wasn't, if they didn't really think that they can get a good jury that's going to award them significant damages. So
yeah, and so it's just it's beyond disturbing. And like I was thinking about this earlier today. So he lost 1 year. Like with the way this looks now, we'll see what the NFL does. But what if he loses this next year and then the trials start? Like, we could be talking, the Cleveland Browns may have made a gigantic mistake. They may have just completely screwed their entire franchise. Like, if this doesn't work out and Deshaun Watson, let's say he's not able to play, like, I was thinking about today, there's a possibility, whatever it is, there's a possibility Deshaun Watson never plays in the NFL again because of where this is going. Like, at least doesn't play this contract. Maybe this, whatever happens, I don't know, but there's a chance he doesn't play anytime soon for at least the next couple of years. So this is, this is bad for everybody. And the other thing is like, bringing up Colin Cowherd again, he was talking about this and he was basically saying like, look, the other owners are not happy with Cleveland's owner for giving Deshaun Watson all that guaranteed money because now
it makes the entire NFL look bad. Right
now, well, yeah, absolutely, and he's set the market at a ridiculous place where it's like, the owners don't like it in general. So the other owners in the NFL are not going to be on the side of let Deshaun Watson play. Like,
right.
There's no chance of that happening. So this could be, and Cleveland has burned bridges now, right? Baker Mayfield does not, even if he manages to stay there this season, which I don't think he will, he's not going to be there long term. So they could literally have no Deshaun Watson, Baker goes to another team, and they're sitting there paying Deshaun Watson $230 million and not getting any return on it.
Yeah.
This could be the worst, one of the worst things that a sports team has ever done.
So basically business as usual in Cleveland.
Oh, my God. That's the thing I was thinking about today. Like, this is a disaster for Cleveland. You got more allegations coming out, and if there's going to be, that means there's going to be more. Like, I have no doubt there will be more stuff coming out about this soon. And I can't believe the attorney got on a radio show where he knew people would hear this audio and said, yeah, it's not illegal. It's just like, oh,
you know what this reminds me of? Like, I don't remember when exactly this was. Maybe it was like 10 years ago or 12 years ago. Remember when all these Republican Congress people and like senators kept talking about rape? And like there was one guy who said like, well, and they were like, well, he was like against abortion for rape victims. And he's like, well, if it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways of shutting the pregnancy down. It's like, what the hell? And then there was some other congressman who's like, well, back in my time, the best birth control was to put an aspirin between your legs. And it's like, what the it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. What the fuck are you saying?
Yeah, I don't know who's counseling you, man. You're supposed to be counseling Deshaun Watson? Good Lord. Why would you say that? Oh, it's not that he just gotten happy endings. It's not that big a deal. It's like,
well, he's an older guy. And just to be honest, older guys, these specific issues in 2022, just don't really talk about them publicly.
Yeah.
Just kind of keep your thoughts to yourself because you're just going to end up saying something that sounds fucking horrible.
Yeah, very good point. So yeah, we think, I just, this has gone from, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to play. I hope the NFL suspends him indefinitely because that's what needs to happen here. You shouldn't be allowed to play if you've got all of these open cases against you, period. I just don't. I'm sorry. It's a bad look for everybody, and the NFL has been through enough bad looks. They should know better.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So anyway.